financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Brian Small, good morning.
Good morning, Ken. A pleasure to be here this morning.
Pat Simasco.
Hi, how are you?
Pat, it looks like you have a guest with us.
We do, Michelle. She's
Michelle
awesome.
Goldman, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
She's the star today.
Today's topic
I
is,
told her we put the good-looking people on this side of the table.
Dave, am I allowed to switch and move over, or do I have to stay where I am? So I'm with Brian. We've always been aligned as a team.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Today's topic is fighting the good fight, Medicaid planning. And let me set the stage for you, okay? And then Michelle is a special guest, and because she went through this process with her parents. And, all right, your dad's name was Lewis.
Yes.
Mom was Faye.
Yes.
Faye with an E at the end, or just F-A-Y?
F-A-Y-E.
Okay, because my grandmother was Faye with an E at the end. That's why I asked. Okay. All right, so as I understand it, your dad had memory problems,
Yes.
and mom had pretty advanced MS when it was at the stage of needing a nursing home.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Pat, everyone knows, does elder law planning. So kind of let's walk through what happened. So, Michelle, you had to, you had, the problem was in your hands. What did you do? How did you know to call an attorney? What was going on in terms of how did you make the decision to do what?
Well, the decision was the fact that we knew that my mom would need eventually skilled nursing, and then my dad would need memory care, and trying to protect the assets that they had, and to try to figure out what to do with this situation, having both parents going into a assisted living and nursing home situation, and how to protect their home, their assets, how to come up to how to pay for this.
Biggest expense coming.
Well,
Yes.
the big thing, and it seems, you see it all the time, is mom and dad are taking care of themselves. And those two people, their whole lives, they took care of themselves. And as they got older and frailer, one was more physically healthy, mentally weaker. The other one was more weaker physically. And they had a whole body, though, and combined, they could take care of themselves. But at some point in time, the condition gets to the point where they can't take care of themselves, and they struggle. And the kids are fantastic to do everything in their power to keep mom and dad at home. But comes a point in time when it's not safe for one of them or both of them to be home. And that's when you really have to start looking. And if you spent all the money taking care of one, there won't be any money left over to take care of the other one.
And wasn't one of the worries that potentially one of your parents was going to qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, excuse me, and one of your parents was never going to qualify, so they were going to need the money that is in the estate to take care of them. Your dad was physically healthier than your mother, and so that's what you needed to do, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of lay out. So Michelle, you ended up coming to Pat.
Correct.
Okay, so Pat, what was the legal issue? What was the problem with how did the money work out?
Well, the first thing I just want to say is that lawyers are great when it comes to knowing what they know and knowing what they don't know. And Brian has been part of the family for their family as associates and friends. And when the call came to Brian, he knew he didn't have the level of elder law, just like I don't have a level of expertise in the creditor protection and bankruptcy, so he referred the family over to me. But so the idea is, how do you protect your estate? And the federal government has a plan. They want to protect the spouse at home. They know it's called the Spousal Impoverishment Act. They don't want to throw this mom out on the street living in a cardboard box because she spent every dime taking care of her husband.
So in this case, we would be ostensibly protecting dad because mom, because Faye needs to go into the nursing home?
Well, we didn't know at that point.
Because they're both
well,
in
gee whiz.
Well, what kind of assets were we dealing with?
$17 million. No, they didn't.
Michelle, why don't you move over to this side of the table? Brian, you're out.
And let me tell you.
By the way, Bonnie, you're out too.
So that's a big thing, though, and it's really discriminatory against poorer people. The government says for a married couple, half of the house is protected, and half of the assets up to $120,000. Now it's about $132,000. So if you have $300,000, $132,000 is protected. If you have $60,000, only $30,000 is protected. They discriminate against less financially well-off people. But then they think, oh, gee whiz, $130,000, that can cover every family in the whole world. No matter how long they might live, they may need assisted living. So they created the Spousal Impoverishment Act that allows attorneys like me to protect assets for the families, if you know what you're doing.
So, Michelle, in your case, your mom and dad, they own their home.
Correct.
No mortgage. There was some savings. Were there also retirement accounts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do the retirement accounts fit into the picture?
Well, the whole idea is you have to get everything from mom's name, who's going into the nursing home, into dad's name.
All right, so first plan in this case is we were planning for Faye going into the nursing home, Lou staying at home for the time being.
Well, let's even back up one step, because the family really tried to keep them home as long as possible. And as a married couple, I can protect it all. But if mom dies, dad's a single person, he's only allowed a house and $2,000. If dad dies, mom's a single person, she's only allowed a house and $2,000. And all that money in their life savings would be wasted. So the original plan is what happens if one person passes away. And that's the plan that we implemented to begin with.
So you think the federal government designed this to stop elderly parents from killing each other?
No.
They have to stay together in order to take advantage of Medicaid?
So they call it the gray divorce. People divorce their spouses to protect their life savings and their income. We never had one family willing to get divorced to protect their money.
We're coming up for a break, and I need you to explain that further for us.
Yeah.
We'll be back right after the break. COVID-19 presents a fight for our personal and business financial survival. You have to make choices. Cash is critical. Do you tap your retirement, home equity line, or run up the credit cards? You need the right plan to avoid being wiped out, and you need it now. You can't rely on the government or banks. Call us. We're the experts in financial crisis. We are here for you and your business in the Great Recession, and we're here for you now. We will create a plan and get through this together. THAV GROSS will solve your problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, we're back. So, Pat, I want to go into this court proceeding process, but before we get there.
Michelle, the question that's come up and people are going to be asking is, dealing with your parents who are, and everybody's parents who, so to speak, are stubborn sometimes and they want to deal with their own money and they don't want to bother their children, how were you able to get them involved in the process so they recognized it was what was eventually best for them?
Well, we talked to them, and we had to come to the realization that we wanted to see what we could do to protect their assets and their money. We did not know where to go. We knew that we were in a situation where potentially both of them would need assisted living and a nursing home assistance, and then how to, have the money to pay for that, but also to protect what they have. And so for that aspect, we really did not know where to turn to, and we referred to Pat Samansko, who helped us out tremendously.
Were Mom and Dad okay with going along with it, or did you run into resistance?
We ran into some resistance at the beginning, but once we had a consultation and met with Pat, and he explained what needs to be done and what can be done, then
became easy.
It came easy, and they understood, and we understood more.
One of the big advantages that everybody should recognize when you're dealing with this is that from a practical standpoint, when you do the type of planning that Pat does, it leaves the money available to take care of the parents, to take care of your family. And so even though Faye ended up in a Medicaid bed, which was paid for by the government, the money that was in the family was able to be used to...
Which is the exact same bed that a private pay bed was.
Right.
It's not the same bed.
But the money was there to help take care of both Lou and Faye and enhance their life. While they
First of all, every kid says, Mom and Dad, I don't want your money. Go spend it. And believe them, the kids don't want the money. We're not trying to save it for the kids. We're trying to save it. And every parent says...
Nursing home care can be $10,000, $12,000 a month.
God,
easily.
You were looking at a situation where both very likely would need it. That's a burn rate of $20,000 a month.
And their mom and dad had the absolute #1 nursing home plan when they first met me, and that's I'm never going to the nursing home.
That's my plan.
That was my dad's plan.
That was
we
their
kept
plan.
them home 20 years, and sometimes you can't. Every nursing home's full of people that are never, ever going to the nursing home.
If you have that plan, then you need Pat Samasco once you have to go into the nursing home.
And that's the thing. You're protecting the money. You don't have to go to the nursing home. That's the last. No one's got on their bucket list, I want to go to the nursing home. But if you do, you got to protect the money. Spend every dime at home. Spend every dime to take care of people. But if you can't, and you got to go.
So wasn't one of the issues that it may not have been here with that one parent was going to need nursing home care and one parent might not. So that parent that needed extra help, that's going to be private pay no matter what, right?
Well, it's tougher. You can't get both of them on. I can't say that. I'm fantastic. I got always a plan B and a plan C and a plan D, but it's much more challenging to protect the second person.
So how do the retirement funds come into
So
this? And what happened in this case?
So under normal circumstances, we could cash in every dollar of mom's money or every dollar of dad's money and put it into the at-home spouse's name and protect it with a Medicaid plan. But to do that, you have to pay taxes on all the retirement accounts. So what we did, and we've been doing this for years, and it works fantastic, is we go to court and we ask for a spousal support order. We say we want mom to pay in the home per mom to pay at home dad spousal support. And when we do a spousal support order, it's a tax-free transfer from the mom to the dad. The sick person
so in
to
this
the
case,
at-home
Faye
person.
had the retirement account?
Well, it doesn't mean,
Or wouldn't
retirement and, 401k, IRA.
It's either an IRA, 401k, or some or an ERISA qualified plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea is to split it, and that way you don't have to pay the tax on it until you need the money?
Yeah, the transfer goes from, just like if you got divorced but you're not getting divorced. Mom gives her IRA to dad. Once it goes to dad, it's protected as dad's money under the spousal.
Without going to court, what would you'd have to pay the tax on it in order to do that?
Yeah, and they have to put it into these special Medicaid qualifying annuities.
So what do? You bring an action. So in this case, who brought the action, Faye or Lewis, for separate maintenance?
The at-home spouse, dad in this case, filed the complaint for spousal support or separate maintenance, and so we represented the...
So Lewis Goldman versus Faye Goldman?
Yes, that's what
exactly.
it is, yeah.
All right, so here's how we're going to do this. Rather than giving me what happened in the arguments, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to do a court moment.
Wonderful.
And you can be the attorney representing Lewis, seeking the separate maintenance against Faye.
Yeah.
I will fortunately be the judge, because as you recalled recently, you were the judge on a petition I was trying to protect a tenant, and I think fairness dictates that we share roles. We'll be back after the break.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. I want to remind you to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 o'clock a.m., Saturdays 7 o'clock a.m., and on KISS 105.9, Sundays 7 o'clock a.m. We have a webinar coming up. In fact, we have the webinar always coming up. It's available anytime you want. Watch it at your home. Just go to thavgross.com or lawandreality.com. How to eliminate your debt and get a fresh start and live debt-free. To be free, you must be debt-free. We talk about all the methods we use to eliminate debt, solutions using bankruptcy, solutions outside of bankruptcy. The goal is you want to preserve your future income for yourself and not use your future income to pay past debt. If you do that, you'll never get to the point of saving any money. Attendees, if you attend the webinar, we will then have you fill out a form and send you a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. You can also come into the office anytime for a free consultation. We're doing in-office consultations as well as Zoom teleconferencing and video conferencing, whatever you prefer. We have social distancing protocols in the office. Just call 888-235-HELP or go online and sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner, criminal issues with Scott Weinberg. Just sign up at lawandreality.com or call us at 888-235-HELP. Also, go to the website for our free reports, Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself, How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure, Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan, and Pat Simasko's Retiree's Guide to Social Security. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Simasko Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
I love you too. Bye-bye. That was Jerry. Emma just said her first word.
Oh.
Jerry says hello and they'll be over soon.
Who's Jerry? Is he a friend of yours?
No. This Jerry. Our Jerry. And this is his wife and their little girl.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
COVID-19 presents a fight for our personal and business financial survival. You have to make choices. Cash is critical. Do you tap your retirement, home equity line, or run up the credit cards? You need the right plan to avoid being wiped out, and you need it now. You can't rely on the government or banks. Call us. We're the experts in financial crisis. We were here for you and your business in the Great Recession, and we're here for you now. We'll create a plan and get through this together. THAV GROSS will solve your problem. It's time for the court moment. Calling the case of Lewis Goldman versus Faye Goldman.
Pat Simasko appearing on behalf of Lewis Goldman.
Brian Small appearing on behalf of the state of Michigan.
Excuse me, Mr.
No,
Small.
No. It's not on the state of Michigan. It's on behalf of the state of Michigan, and that's part of the case. No, that's part of the case. Is the state of Michigan in a family court matter is not allowed to be part of the case. If it's part of the probate court, which a bunch of other attorneys try to do, they're involved as an interested party.
Excuse me. So if I understand the petitioner's
I'm not
counsel,
allowed to be here.
You're not allowed to be here. You tell me why.
But I want to be here.
You're not allowed to be here.
But it's important to the state.
Doesn't matter.
It's not right that what you're trying to do.
Well,
Mr. Small, I'll grant you a 1 minute to tell me why are you here and what is it your interest that you want us to me to consider.
Mr. Simasko is attempting to remove assets from the availability of the state to recoup from when Ms. Goldman needs to go into the nursing home. The state is entitled to a Medicaid lien at the upon her passing. So,
Mr. Small, let me just ask you one question. Has she passed at this point?
No, but we
So
want
on what
to,
basis do you have standing to be before me?
Because they're trying to remove the assets and make it unavailable for
No,
us to
actually-
get to.
I'll reserve my ruling on standing. Mr. Simasko, go ahead and proceed.
So that's actually, to their point, is they do not have standing. In a family court, there's case law and case law and case law that there's two parties that the court has to look at, the husband and the wife, period.
So
No
who's
other.
representing Mrs. Goldman here?
So right now, Mrs. Goldman would be represented by a power of attorney. And that's so important, is you have to have power of attorneys that have authority for the kids to come in and represent their parents, because if they have dementia or MS, they
So
can't.
who is it that you have with you?
I have
you
Michelle. It's the daughter.
And do you have the power of
We do.
Yes,
power
I
of
do.
attorney to act on behalf of your mother
Yes.
Yeah,
as
we
well
also-
as your father?
Yes.
Well, in this case, because we don't have all the parties here, is that there's a conflict of interest to have one party represent both sides. So we have two attorneys sitting in front of the judge, and represented by either the well spouse, because normally they're competent and can come in, or a power of attorney that allows them to do the court action.
So right now you're here before me as the judge representing Mr. Goldman.
Yeah, and we would.
And what are you seeking, counsel?
We're asking for a spousal support order, asking to transfer all of the assets from the sick spouse, Faye, into the well spouse's name, and we have a consent judgment to do that. And everybody's agreed to this. All the parties have agreed to this.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions, counsel. First of all, I'm a visiting judge in the family court right now. I'm more attuned to the business court, where I have vast experience in business law issues.
I've heard that about you.
With respect to what you're asking, what authority do I even have to grant you this? You're not asking for a divorce.
Right, yeah, you have full authority under the statute. It's the exact same rules as a divorce, but this is staying married for family reasons, for personal reasons.
So is the statute the one that you put in your brief and you mentioned?
Yes, yep.
So I'm reading it, and so all you're asking me to do effectively is to divide the money?
Yeah, actually taking it from sick spouse name and putting it in well spouse name.
Why do we need to do that? Why can't you just take the money out and transfer it
and
to
that's
her?
a great point to the what the Attorney General was saying, is that we're trying to protect the money from Medicaid. We can do everything that we're asking to do without the court order, but we would have to pay all of the taxes, transfer the money to the well spouse name. So we're actually just saving in taxes.
So all you're doing, you're effectively doing, is this what they call a quadro?
Yeah, quadro or a separate maintenance agreement.
So it's all about, really, it's not depriving Medicaid, it's really about avoiding paying the taxes now. The taxes still get paid when the money gets taken out.
Yeah, and
correct?
that's the thing. Is
so Mr. Small, what is the problem? What is?
Yeah, Mr.
I have not
Small,
granted,
what the hell's
I have
the
not
problem?
decided on the standing issue, but I'd like to know, what is the problem with that? Is that you want the taxes paid for the benefit of the federal government? Because you're Medicaid lien, I don't see how it's affected.
The state recoups the money spent on behalf of the patient in the nursing
Only
home.
if it goes through probate.
But
and
if he
there's no
goes and
assets.
if I don't grant his order, he's going to still take the money, he's going to pay the tax, you're still not going to end up with the money. Isn't that correct?
No, that's not necessarily a
That
true
is
statement.
that correct?
That is 100% typical that the Attorney General that's fighting the case doesn't really know the law.
You know, and I have to say, Mr. Small, I've known you many years, and I've never seen you here representing in a capacity on behalf of the state. You're normally a consumer advocate, isn't that true?
This is indeed true.
Are you out of your league here, trying to stand in the shoes of the state attorney general?
I have never been out of my league.
So that's the actual what the Attorney General said on the second court case that they had. They said, we don't know how we can get in here. We don't know what we can do to be part of this family court thing, but we're going to give you our argument anyway. And the judge said exactly what you said. I'm going to give you some lip service. We're going to let you make your argument. And at the end of the day, when the opinion came out, the Attorney General does not have standing.
I'm ready to rule. Mr. Small, you do not have standing. You may leave the courtroom at any time, or if you wish to stay, you can stay and observe. Mr. Simasko, I will grant your petition on one condition: that you reverse the decision you made when you were acting as judge with respect to the landlord-tenant case.
Can't, because I was right.
We're adjourned.